Welcome on board the Royal Caribbean Odyssey of the Seas. Today we're going to take a look around our guaranteed balcony cabin that turned out to be a balcony cabin with an obstructed view. How obstructed is it? Was it worth the money we saved? Keep on watching to find out. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides. I've been making travel videos for over 15 years of popular and not so popular tourist destinations to give you a very honest, unofficial look at what it's like to be there and some of the unusual, unbelievable, and unfortunate things that have happened to me while traveling around the world have been documented in my two books, Getting Stitches on a Cruise Ship and Places Please Part 1. If you like to read and want to give me a little extra support, check them out on Amazon now. And now let's take a look around this cabin.
This is cabin 6576, which is an obstructed view balcony. And this is the curb appeal. This is the view that you get when you first enter the cabin. It's looking pretty tidy right now because our cabin steward was just here. And from the newer Royal Caribbean ships that I have cruised with recently, which include the Star of the Seas and the Utopia of the Seas, I would say I kind of like this design more than the Utopia, but not quite as much as the Star. I'll try to remember to post links to those videos in the description below, and otherwise you can just search my library. I also took a detailed look around those cabins as well, and then you'll see the differences and maybe you'll see what I mean. By the way, Royal Caribbean does allow you to bring 2 bottles of wine with on board, and they don't seem to be very picky about checking to see how many people in which cabin are bringing the 2 bottles. We have pretty consistently been able to bring 4 bottles of wine on board because they just don't check. And just FYI, this wine, not recommended. You can see here, this setup is sofa, bed, balcony. And sometimes you have bed, sofa, balcony. Which design do you like better? It's kind of apples and oranges, you know, like it's nice when you come in here that there's a lot of space. This feels more sort of like a living room and then the bedroom in a way. And when the bed is here, then it feels a little bit more cramped, but then, you know, you have the sofa next to the balcony area. Like I said, kind of apples and oranges. What are the pluses and minuses of having it this way or the other way around? Let's talk about it in the comments. And what we can also talk about is the bathroom door, which is Morgan approved. It is a real bathroom door that closes all the way and is not see-through. Pretty standard bathroom for cruise ships of this age and for cabins in this category. It's a glass door, not a curtain, which I like. And I also appreciate having some cubbies as well as counter space here. One thing I realized today is with this sink setup, there's not enough space here if you just want to like put some water on your head. If you have short hair like I do, you know sometimes you wake up with total bedhead in the morning and you just want to get your whole hair wet so it like sits back down again. And unless you have a really small head, it's kind of difficult to do it with that sink without getting water everywhere, but at least it's in the bathroom and not like on the Norwegian Epic where the tiny little sink is in the cabin. I am still puzzled by how that design ever got approved. There's a mini fridge in here. There is also a safe in one of the closets. There is a North American plug on this side of the bed and only a USB in the telephone on this side of the bed. A lot of times people say in the comments that I needed to look under the lamp for the USB, but I promise you, I look. There is none here. And over here, we have 2 North American and 1 European, as well as 2 USB. Will you, USB, subscribing to my channel and giving this video a thumbs up? Please do. And now let's talk about the obstruction of our view on the balcony. So we booked this cabin last minute over a discount website that I've talked about on this channel many times before. And it wasn't listed as obstructed view, it was just guaranteed balcony cabin, which means you're guaranteed a cabin with a balcony. That's it. And this is then the obstruction of our view. And I have to say, I really don't think that this is that bad. Let's go out, I'll try to show you a little bit more. I mean, we can see the ocean here. This part is pretty blocked, but I enjoy that at least, you know, we get a lot of sun down here and it's not like completely blocked like the cabin that I had recently on the MSC Poesia, where I really could only see the lifeboat and that's it. This is what it looks like towards the front of the ship, and this is what it looks like going back. And you know, some of the cabins up here, they get no sunlight because they're under the pool deck. They have a free view of the ocean, but no sun. And we have a somewhat blocked view of the ocean, but plenty sun. Honestly, which one would you prefer? I'm gonna go with sun.
I wanted to show you something else. On both sides of the solarium are these cool viewing platforms that go out over the side of the ship. And if you look out the back of these, there are some standard balcony cabins where you would basically be on display for anybody on the viewing platform when you go out on your balcony. And it's so close, you can even see into some of the cabins from this platform. In this case, I would also prefer the obstructed view balcony we had because it was more private than being up here in a standard balcony on display. What do you think?
If you're going to be doing a transatlantic or maybe a back-to-back, a longer cruise, I think this cabin has a great setup for that because there are so many places to stash stuff. I love getting on the ship and unpacking and making it feel sort of like home for a while. And you can't do that in every cabin category on every ship, but this cabin is excellent for that. I'm sitting on the couch here, and one thing I really liked about the Star of the Seas was on the wall here, it was actually, I think, across from the bed, which was the other way around here, but on the wall here, they had sort of a cutout, and there were cubbies where you could put like your hats and your sunglasses and your sunscreen and stuff like that. I really like that. I mean, of course, it's nice to have countertop space here, and there's two little cubbies there, but the way that they did that on the Star of the Seas, I thought was really excellent.
As I'm sitting here to film this, I'm realizing that the back of the chairs have a sign on them that says, "Do not lay flat." And it looks like they've used twist ties to sort of solidify the position. What's going on there? Do you see this? I wonder if you make them flat, if then they have too much surface area and they get caught by the wind and fly away. I don't know. What do you think? And what do you think of this cabin altogether? In the next couple of weeks here on the Very Unofficial Travel Guides, we're going to see more of this ship. I'm going to be telling you about some of my favorite places to hang out, some things that make it very individual. We're going to talk about transportation and all the Mediterranean cruise ports that we're visiting: Barcelona, Villefranche, Naples, and Chivi-Chewbacca. And also, I'm going to be talking about some things that I am giving up on in 2026 when it comes to cruise lines. I would really appreciate it if you check back here soon, so make sure you're subscribed if you haven't done it already, and please give this video a thumbs up. I'm Morgan from the Very Unofficial Travel Guides. Bye-bye.